he gonna get caught. He'll pop out on you. He get there too quick.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. Almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. Let's say he comes in at 200 pounds. It's still a 65-pound weight advantage, which is absolutely ridiculous. How can you be out there claiming to want to fight the best people on the planet?
Several veteran boxing analysts have warned Jake Paul against stepping into the ring with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, especially after recent training footage highlighted Davis's blistering speed, explosive power, and sharp technical skills. They caution that the significant size difference poses not only physical risks but also potential harm to boxing's credibility. Critics emphasize that Davis is far more than just a smaller opponent. He's a legitimate, dangerous fighter capable of trapping and...
Because it sounded like Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua was getting closer and closer for January. However, there have been rumours of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul in the past. I think with Gervonta Davis's kind of legal problems in the last month or so and rumours about his retirement, I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it?
Promoter Hearn has issued a stern warning to Jake Paul about the potential dangers of facing Gervonta Davis, cautioning that the consequences could be serious, possibly even devastating. Be careful what you wish for, Hearn advised, calling the matchup a clear mismatch and expressing concern for Paul's safety. While acknowledging the fight's massive commercial appeal and rating its chances as 50-50, Hearn's underlying message is unmistakable. Paul stands to lose far more than just his record. His health and well-being could be at serious risk.
You know, I've got the general feedback is the boxing world saying, please, AJ, go in and evaporate this young man from the boxing world so we can all get on as normal. You've got Jake Paul fans thinking bizarrely they can beat Anthony Joshua. And the most bizarre thing out of everything is that Jake Paul genuinely believes he will beat Anthony Joshua. I think that's the only reason we're going to see this fight, but I truly believe you're going to see it at the beginning of 2026.
Daniel Cormier offered a thoughtful yet critical take on Jake Paul's decision to fight Gervonta Davis. While he acknowledged Paul's growing legitimacy and promotional success, saying, "I respect Jake Paul today," and praising his ability to land major partnerships like those with Netflix, Cormier couldn't overlook the glaring size disparity. He noted that while Davis is clearly the superior boxer, the weight difference is significant, with Davis fighting at around 133.8 pounds and Paul nearing 200 pounds. Cormier warned that a loss to Davis could seriously derail Paul's momentum, but also pointed out the risk for Davis, who could face major embarrassment if he loses to someone so much bigger.
When the Disruptor Challenge is a legend, guys, anything can happen. When a kid that was on YouTube and on Disney walked in there and said, "I'm going to be a professional boxer," Jake Paul needs to be commended for that. He had a vision, and he honestly executed that vision better than anyone ever could have expected. But sometimes you want something so badly that you don't recognize the dangers that come with wanting that thing and then getting that thing. Now Jake Paul has gotten himself to a point where he's fighting someone that could truly, truly end his career. Mike Tyson. We're talking about one of the scariest, most dangerous fighters to ever step foot in the squared circle. For me, it's pretty simple. Jake Paul, in the Mike Perry fight, he got a great appetizer for what he will get in the main event. A fighter that starts very fast, that throws things to take your head off, and you have to kind of match the intensity to ultimately get your shots off.
Jake Paul today announced that he has signed with the PFL.
The PFL.
A couple weeks ago, Jake Paul and I were messaging each other about an appearance on my show, DC and Arson. Just kind of talking about his future. And honestly, Jake and I have had some run-ins. When I started talking to him and I'm messaging him, he's a kid that's very respectful. And we had respectful conversations. He has an idea what he wants to do. Now, these kids today are different, right? So he's very boisterous, he's very verbal, he speaks big. But will Jake Paul actually fight in the PFL? A lot of boxers say they're going to fight, but they never actually do. Here's the thing about Jake Paul, though. He's from Ohio. Ohio has some of the best high school wrestling. Jake Paul was a high school wrestler there. So was his brother, Logan. They weren't bad. I believe this one, he'll actually fight.
Former super middleweight champion Carl Froch has raised serious concerns about the safety of the upcoming Jake Paul vs. Gervonta Davis exhibition, pointing to a staggering 65-pound weight difference between the fighters. Paul typically fights near 200 pounds, while Davis competes at 135 pounds. While acknowledging Davis's superior skill, Froch warned that Paul's size and unorthodox power could pose a real danger, noting, "He won't be used to being hit like that." Froch's comments echo a broader unease within the boxing community, where the fight is being viewed less as a legitimate contest and more as a spectacle that puts fighter safety and the sport's credibility at risk.
My name was mentioned at his press conference and he shit himself, and the fight was just absolutely fucking diabolical. Again, I've said before, he's not a professional boxer, he never will be, and he proved time and time again that he's not a professional fighter. So, Jake Paul, go on, piss off.
I mean, I don't really take Jake Paul that serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. He swings away, he stands up straight and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, he's just so much wrong. It's just, everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own size, it was a professional, and it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level. And then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different. It's like a different sport.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode, but hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in, and I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Froch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Ryan Garcia slammed the proposed matchup, calling it completely insane and questioning its legitimacy. He argued that modern boxing is rapidly losing its credibility, comparing the sport to professional wrestling and claiming it now resembles WWE more than a serious athletic competition. Garcia warned that matchups like this undermine the integrity of boxing and make it increasingly difficult for fans to take the sport seriously. In his blunt assessment, boxing is officially the WWE.
Today we're going to talk about the boxing world and another fight that Jake Paul just booked for his joke of a career against a 65-plus smaller guy than him in Gervonta Davis. Jake Paul is a circus sideshow for low IQ incels. Nobody should be falling for this carny bullshit about him being a real fighter. Gervonta is a million times better than him, so he has to handicap Gervonta's skill by being a giant lab rat with a 65-plus weight advantage over him. This is a joke. This is a mockery to the sport of fighting. You know, the best are supposed to fight the best. Why is he fighting a guy that's, you know, in his last fight, Mike Tyson, who, you know, he's got a 40-year age gap between them? You know, why are you fighting a guy that should be in line for, you know, the early bird special, not fighting in a boxing ring and Mike Tyson? Now you're fighting a guy who is, you know, tiny. He's a 130-pound fighter. You fight in the 210, 220 weight range. So, you know, this is another joke in Jake Paul's career. You know, he claims to want to be a real fighter, but, you know, he's not taking the real steps to be real fighters and fighting, you know, top 10 guys and fighting the best guys in the world. You know, he fights, you know, these circus sideshows against guys that have no business being in there against him. So, you know, I guess this is the state of boxing. It's dead. UFC took over, and, you know, this is what you get now. You get this YouTuber who, you know, is on Lizzie McGuire, and he wants to claim to be a real fighter, but he doesn't want to fight real fighters. So, you know, I think it's ironic, though. Why would he hire a lawyer to sue people that say that his fights are fixed if they weren't? Allegedly. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. You guys do the math. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Amir Khan has fiercely condemned the upcoming exhibition bout between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, calling it disgusting and warning of serious safety risks. He pointed to the massive weight and height disparity, Paul at around 200 pounds and Davis at 135 pounds, with an 8-inch height gap, as making the fight dangerously unbalanced and unlikely to be sanctioned by any serious governing body. Khan cautioned that such mismatched contests not only risk severe injury but also damage the sport's credibility. He praised promoter Turki Alshik for refusing to take part in what he described as YouTube-style spectacles.